My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I am.
I'm down here at the Teachers Club, where the second week of the LGBT Theatre Festival will be happening. And I'm joined by the cast of SPOOL, and on my left here is Otto.
Otto Farrant,
yeah. Welcome Otto, and sitting beside Otto is Finn. Welcome Finn.
Hi.
Yeah. First time guys playing in Dublin, is it?
It's the first time being in Dublin.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to the Republic of Ireland, or Northern Ireland. But yeah, no, we're loving it so far. Only been here a day, but we're loving it.
Yeah, and yourself Finn?
Yeah, never been to Ireland.
Well, feel reassured, because Dublin has a great tradition of theatre.
We've heard that actually a lot.
Well, the reason behind it is because we had censorship of books and we had censorship of film, but there was never censorship of theatre. So that's why it developed in a way, and that was how the populace got to let off steam, sort of thing. So as I say, it doesn't matter. However avant-garde it is, people will respect it. So.
Yeah, well, I've heard of the Dublin Theatre Festival, but until the Edinburgh Fringe, I hadn't heard of the LGBT International Festival. And Brian, who's the head, the artistic director, he came to see the show, our show, SPOOL, and he loved it in Edinburgh and said, you know, you should get involved. So that's the reason why we're here, really. We owe it to him. Well,
there's another festival called Seen and Heard, which again tries out new work. That's happened in January, so maybe we're going to
check that one out.
Well, we can get you in contact for that one as well. Tell me, you've got some fabulous reviews in Edinburgh. What was was it a very similar show that you performed in Edinburgh?
Yeah, I'd say it was 35 minutes when we were there, so a bit shorter than it is now. It's totally devised, so the lead up to the Edinburgh Fringe, we were aiming for about 50 minutes, but it didn't quite materialise in time.
No.
And I think leaving that, we were excited to develop it and build on the same ideas and themes, but just more content.
It must be very difficult. I mean, I've been to Edinburgh a few times for the festival. It must be very difficult to stand out. How did you go down with the audience? Was it word of mouth?
It was a lot of it was word of mouth.
I think a lot of it. I mean,
we weren't very good at the Edinburgh Fringe.
We were awful.
We weren't very good at promoting our show. This time around, I think we're much more motivated to get it out there and get people in to see it, because I think in Edinburgh it's the first time either of us had ever created theatre, and so when we were leading up to it, we had no idea how an audience was going to react. It could have gone really badly, and thankfully it didn't, and went quite well. So I think now we've got a bit more confidence to really just go out and say to people, look, we've got some good reviews. We think what we've got is a really good show, and so hopefully more people will come.
I'm going to go to yourself in. If I'm correct on this, your background is acting.
No.
It's
my background. I wish I was an actor.
No, you don't. Well, that means start with yourself. Your background is acting.
My background is acting.
Yeah. How difficult, how much of a transition is it to do something like SPOOL?
Huge. Basically, Finn and I met, funnily enough, at a music festival, at Bestival on the Isle of Wight, and we were dancing quite drunk in a tent.
That's what you
and we met through a friend of a friend, and we just ended up talking about how we love performance and what we like out of performance, and cut to a year later we'd become really good friends, and we developed this show SPOOL at the Edinburgh Fringe. Finn had never had any acting experience, and I had never had any movement experience, but we were both really excited to explore each other's areas, and so when we started, it was quite hard for each of us to sort of adapt.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's been a massive learning curve as well.
Yeah, and
I really enjoyed it.
It's been a skill exchange, and I think we both enjoyed helping the other person, imparting our own knowledge. We're at the beginning of our professional careers, quote unquote, but we both had quite a lot of experience in our our own fields, and so being able to share that has been.
But also you get to know your own limits. Like
definitely.
I was definitely quite limited movement wise. Finn just understands the kind of where you're putting your weight, the kind of moves and lifts we can do, and I was just not ready for that, so I had to learn how to do the basic things.
It's just being comfortable with it as well. And like,
I feel comfortable around you. I trust you.
You can give me a slap for going for the stereotype and assuming that the muscular guy was the actor.
Are you saying I'm not muscular? What are you saying?
Well, you're live, as we say. You'd be the thoroughbred, whereas he would definitely be the. I'm not stop this. Your background is ballet.
Since the age of 5, I did ballet. Trained at the Royal Ballet School, and then left when I was 18, so 2 years ago now. And that was essentially how I experienced performing. It was always on stage doing ballets or dance, modern dance. And I don't really do any ballet anymore, but it's definitely a part of my practice and a part of my technical sort of skill set that I can use to.
Tell us about SPOOL then. It's a collaborative effort. How did it break down? What did, for instance, you add to it, Otto, and what did Finn bring to it?
I'd say the lines are very blurred. In general, Otto has written most of it, I'd say, but it's always been a matter of...
Definitely been devised.
Collaboration. Otto might go away and write a scene, and then we'll be in a studio, and that scene will probably have exactly the same essence at the end as it did at the beginning, but it will be, me saying, I don't feel that that's quite right, I don't feel my character would say that, or whatever, and so it's been moulded by both of us, all of it.
I think also because neither of us had more power than the other. We were both co-directing and co-devising. It meant that all the decisions had to be made by both of us, which was challenging. But it was also meant that what we've created is built off our friendship and our trust in each other. So it's all been agreed upon. Like there's no scenes or anything in this which one of us doesn't want as much as the other person.
Which meant there was a huge amount of deliberation. Exactly.
Huge.
Which was great, and it meant that we both tried our best to get our print on it.
Before we talk about the content, what I always ask people, particularly with this festival, what is the LGBT dimension to it, or is that in the eye of the beholder?
I think when we were approached by Brian, he was really adamant and believed that it was about identity, which I think at the heart of it is, we totally agree. That wasn't what we set out to do.
We should probably say a little bit about what it's about.
Yes,
it might be easier.
Tell the listeners what it's about.
Otherwise people are just listening.
My understanding is that it's difficult to describe in an audio sense. It probably is a very visual thing.
It's a very visual thing because it's devised. It's like if you read the script, it wouldn't make immediate sense until you see it. It's basically a meditation on the codependency of the body and the mind. So Finn, as the dancer, would play the body and I play the mind. And we just explore areas that they conflict, and they're both their areas of governance. So the mind, imagines and dreams and has ambitions, and the body
wants to go out and use his body and
explore
be
the world.
strong
And he's got much like sexual urges, which I think is I think plays a part in why maybe it was recognised with this festival, and also there's the whole idea of identity, obviously, the identity thing, because of the conflict between the body and the mind.
They both have an identity.
They both have
together,
an identity.
They also
and so in the show, no spoilers, but they decide to break up. And it's their journey to find what they want from themselves and what they want from each other.
Can I then just pose the question, for somebody my age, by the time you got to my age, your body ain't going to do half the things you would like it to do, and you want it to do, and you think it can do. Is it primarily something that will resonate with a younger audience?
We don't know. I hope not. I hope it will resonate with everyone, because I think everyone goes through a point in their life where they aren't satisfied. I mean, you know, you might still not be satisfied with the bits of the body that don't react as well as they once did.
Yeah, and likewise with mind. I'd say, you know, I think what's difficult, well, what we struggled with sometimes was defining where the boundary was between each, and so that was largely up to our sort of belief in each scene, which fitted best with the identity of the body.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking here, just what I'm seeing are some props, and I was saying, usually I've seen these in a different context. Can you just tell us what the role of the props play?
I think they create the world, really, because it's such a metaphor, the separation of body and mind. It's about, and each scene very much exists within its own world. I think it's to ground it, but also I think it was partly because of when we were visualizing it, we had such crazy ideas, and often it required you know, a reference point.
Well, what we did, wasn't it? We just decided that because it was about body and mind, I mean, we just wanted a really easy setting, which is just someone's bedroom, you know, because it was it's not a specific bedroom, it could be anyone. The main point is we're exploring the body and the mind, and then together, but their relationship rather than the person that they are together. So the props are very simple, but if you have a bit of imagination, they can become different things. For example, what we've got next to us is a clothing rail with some coat hangers and a t-shirt on them. Now that's become a puppet that the mind will imagine coming to life when he's separate from his body. So there's lots of
where does emotion fit in there then?
Different ways. The emotion mainly comes, I would say, from the mind. I mean, it comes from both, but there's definitely a feeling when they're not together, when they feel lost without each other, and we're exploring, you know, how that manifests itself in each of their different areas of governance.
It would be a very difficult piece, I gather. I would suspect if you didn't get on. If you were two actors coming together. I have to live with it for 2 weeks. I'm sure. What reaction would you like to gauge in the audience? How would you like them to come out at the end of it all?
I feel like they'd see our relationship also within the piece. Like they'd come away thinking
our friendship
that we understood each other, and we understood, but also the individuals. You know, we both play different identities. We both inhabit different characters, but because they match Otto's skills in acting and mine in dancing. I suppose it's also our own ways of expressing ourselves through that. So to come out and feel as though I think we don't want people to be come away like we're not aiming high. We don't want people to be like inspired or like life changing, but we want them to have enjoyed themselves, like watching the show. I think it's also
and gone on a journey, I guess, and looked at something in a different way.
And not feeling like their own perhaps insecurities or thoughts about themselves aren't, you know, they're not alone in that. Everyone has
that's a really good point.
Everyone has their
Well, you'd be pleased to know in Ireland we love gossip and we love to talk about it. And people have said to me, it's this is one really worth seeing. So
thank you.
Not that the expectations aren't high, but in the sense that people are hoping to enjoy it, and I'm very confident that they will. Tell us the bums on seats. When is it on and where is it on?
Starts at 9 o'clock in the evening on Monday, the 8th.
The 8th of May.
And it's on every evening until Saturday, the 13th.
And there's a matinee on the Saturday, the 13th, which is at 4 o'clock. and it's on at the Teachers Club,
Parnell
Square.
Yeah. And it runs for about 50 minutes.
It runs for about 50 minutes, yeah.
In the best of traditions, and I don't want to put you off, Finn, break a leg. So thank you for telling us all about SPOOL. We're looking forward to seeing it, and I hope you have the best success and enjoy Dublin at the same time.
Thanks so much.
Thanks
for
very
talking
much.
to us.
My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I